This is Chris York. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
Hello, Chris. I heard your parody you did about my movie. I wasn't very happy. I might have to break both your fucking legs.
Eyewitness accounts say the creature has teeth, leathery wings, a beak, and claws. It is a vampiric creature associated with witchcraft, often the servant or familiar of a witch or witch doctor. So it's a lightning, vampire, Thor bird. Hairy man on man. And these flightless bats that he suggests will come about hunt on the ground in packs using echolocation and just eat everything. Bigfoot may have tickled somebody's balls, aliens may have anally probed people, and your Fortean Slip Daily Dose starts now. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Fortean Slip Daily Dose. This is the I Used to Be a Trainwreck episode, number 40. Today I will talk about my descent into drug addiction. It was a long, horrid road I hope no one else has to go down. I spent years destroying myself in order to come out clean on the other side, as they say. Went into a nice deep dark hole that ultimately only I could get myself out of, and it's that way for anybody in that situation. But to give you an understanding of what exactly happened to me, I can remember the exact date. Not the exact date, but the year when it happened, where I was working, the instance that made it all go down. It was 1995. I had graduated the year before from high school. I had been accepted to college, but my girlfriend at the time said, "No, don't go. You'll find somebody else." And yes, I should have. I didn't go. I went to work. I started working third shift at the time. And from there, I wound up getting a job working at a gas station. Fucking just pumping gas. I was sick and tired of working night shift. I wanted something where I could be awake during the day. Flash forward however many years, and now I'm awake all fucking night. So it was probably the right time to be working for me, but hey. So I was working at this gas station. I was pumping gas, and I went to go grab something, and I tripped over the gas hose. I landed on my elbow. Wound up going into the hospital. They said I had a hairline fracture. So they wound up giving me a bottle of Tylox, which, if anybody is unaware what Tylox is, it is oxycodone and Tylenol in a capsule which can be opened. And there's just powder inside. The friend of mine that I was working with at the gas station at the time knew that I got these because they had taken me into the hospital. And when we get out, he's like, "Hey, let's go to my house and fucking party." And I, granted, I knew that pain pills could fuck you up, but I was just planning on going home, taking a couple, and fucking chilling out, smoking a joint, something. But he's like, "No, let's go over the house, and we'll get fucking rezooted." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So we went over there, and we started fucking snorting fucking Tylox. I mean, just breaking open pills and laying out lines and getting right fucked up. I was just fucking like, "Ooh, this is fucking good." At the time, his father was getting hydrocodone, which is a lower narcotic, same family, almost the same type of drug, just a lower class of the same drug with Tylenol in it. And for anybody who's out there doing this, you're pumping fucking more Tylenol into your system than your body can handle. For anyone who doesn't know, the body can only process, and I think it's like 2,000 milligrams per day of Tylenol, of acetaminophen, and then it starts to destroy your liver. It becomes toxic to your system. I had a friend ask me at one point, he's like, at your worst, like, how bad was it? Like, how bad did it really get? And I can remember a night sitting in front of my computer with a bottle of Tylox. I used to get a 120 pill prescription every month. And I sat down at the computer one night and I lost count at 20. And I had started in the late afternoon, and this was in the early evening, probably around 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I literally lost count. I had no idea how many I had done, and I just did not stop doing them until I fucking just passed out. More often than not, I would hate myself for it. More often than not, I would wind up doing a bunch of them and then sitting there wishing to Christ that I hadn't. Most of the time, it would just clog up my nose and make me feel like horrid shit after the fucking euphoria passed. I spent every day clawing for more drugs, and then the days that I didn't have them, I spent wishing for my own fucking death because I couldn't be normal. I got up every morning and puked. Every single morning, I would get up and vomit into the toilet. There would be nothing there. It would just be bile. It would be disgusting. It was just a horrid, horrid experience every day of my life. I wound up getting to a point where I couldn't handle that anymore. The anxiety was getting to me. I would spend every day searching and searching and searching for drugs. If I found them, it was going to be a bad day the next day. If I didn't find them, it was going to be a bad day that day and the next day. It just was a vicious fucking cycle. But I got to a point where the anxiety got to me so bad, and my job at the time, I used to deliver, I had a vehicle, so I could go pretty much anywhere I wanted. Or I could have people meet me anywhere I wanted. And I wasn't, being watched. I was out on the road by myself. I wound up getting myself into a hole of debt that I barely got out of. I wound up overspending by thousands of dollars. If I hadn't had a couple of safety nets along the way, I don't know where I'd be right now. If there hadn't been a couple of instances, I don't know if I'd be in jail or where I'd be at this point in time in my life, because I took it way too far, and not way too fast, because it was a long time. I decided to get sober in 2011. I made the choice, and I just quit my job. In retrospect, I should have just said something to somebody, gone into rehab, and I would have been able to keep my job, because I used to make really good money. But I was so embarrassed by who I was and what I had done that the only option that I felt like I had was to just do it myself. So I quit my job, and I just basically worked on getting myself clean. And it took me about a year. It took me about a good solid year. From the beginning of 2011 till the end of 2011. And at that point in time, at the end of 2011 is where I finally feel like I got sober. Like completely sober. I wasn't ever trying to get anything anymore. I wasn't having my relapses. It was just, everything was good. And I can tell you from personal experience that it's having people around to support you is great. And having somebody there who will stand by you and be there for you is wonderful. But if you're in this situation, the only person that can get you out is you. No amount of therapy, no amount of people telling you it's going to be okay is ever going to fix the problem. You're the only one that can fix the problem. I was the only one that could fix the problem. For the longest time, I spent all my time blaming other people for the person that I had become. And it took all of that to make me realize that it was my choice. I was the one that made that choice so many years ago, 1995. I'll never forget that year. I'll never forget that night, because it was what sent me down that path. I would go for anything. It got to a point where, it wasn't just pain pills. It was amphetamines and whatever I could get my hands on. Muscle relaxers, benzos. It didn't matter what it was, as long as I could get some relief. That's what I equated it to. It was relief. Ah, that feels good. It's relief. But it just caused me more pain. I had relief that night and fucking a horrid experience the next morning in front of the fucking toilet. I spent more time with my fucking head in the toilet all those years than I think I did anything else. Staring at piss stains. What a joy that was. I don't know if I have any advice for people that are trying to get sober. The only thing I can tell you is it's your choice. What you're doing to yourself is destructive. It's not going to help you in the end. And eventually, if you don't take care of it, it may kill you. There's so many times I should have been dead. So many times I fell asleep behind the wheel. So many times that I passed out that I probably should have choked on my own puke. So many times that I was paralyzed because I had done so many and I couldn't move, and I was just waiting for my body to vomit and knew that if I did, I was fucked. But it was my kids for me. It was seeing my kids' faces and knowing that it was me and that wasn't the person that I wanted them to see anymore. It woke me up, and it took a really long time. It didn't happen overnight, and I'm still not better today. I'll never be better, and that's something that you have to accept, is that it's a fucking sickness. It's a problem. I struggle with it every day. And anybody who tries to tell you that they don't is lying to you. Anyone who tells you that they have a handle on their addictions and that they never, ever contemplate it, they're lying to you. It's a fucking farce. Not only do I struggle with my addiction, but the person that I was. And maybe everything that happened to me made me the person that I am today, but I can tell you from personal experience that it's not the way that I would have wanted to go about it. It destroyed me from the inside out. I will never be that same person that I was all those years ago because of what I did to myself, because of my choices. This has been Fortean Slip Daily Dose, the serious episode. If you like this shit, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Tell me I'm an asshole. There's been a few people who have, and still do. I've been kind of lax on the daily doses. I'm trying to work out a few other things. There are other shows in the pipeline. But I will try to get back on a more consistent schedule with these. Just a matter of sitting down and recording. Later, motherfuckers.